We're here at the end of the first day of live. Been a really interesting day. All sorts of different subjects covered. Almost hard to choose your favourites, but what stood out for you, Adam?
Well, actually, it's about people. So there's been so much discussion today and explanation around AI, artificial intelligence, and people have brought it to life and warned about it and talked about its opportunities and so forth. And of course, that's hugely exciting and rather terrifying at the same time. But actually, I'm basing the success on the biggest whoops of the day. And the biggest whoops were for presentations around people, the empowerment of Generation M, as they're calling themselves, or Gen M, which is consciously commercializing the menopause opportunity, whilst also empowering women. And that got a huge cheer. And the other huge cheer was for a presentation from Danny St. James at Not a Phase, which is talking again about using inclusivity, not just to do the right thing and to include people, but actually to gain commercially.
Yeah.
And I think that, and then there were some other ones. There was the co-op presentation right at the very end from Matt Hood, which is talking about the individuality and the importance of people, and that is at the core of their turnaround mission. And again, they got a huge whoop. And then there was the Philadelphia strategy. A lot of brands have been losing volumes, right? In the cost of living crisis, but they lent into emotion for the first time rather than applications and usages and that sort of thing. They used emotion instead, and completely new strategy, and they have grown their sales and volumes. So it's showing that emotion and people are still as relevant today as they've always been, and I find that incredibly reassuring and empowering.
Yeah.
And what about you?
So when I come to events like this, I never want to hear someone recite the annual report. I always love when they give some real insight. And so I really enjoyed Andy Higginson, a real industry legend, worked at all sorts of different companies. And he had a great tip, which was, say you're going around a store, really take notice of what the colleagues walk past, because that's normal. He gave the example, you go around a supermarket, often in the afternoon there's no fresh bread, but if you're being shown around, you'll be walked past as if it's normal. And the real question is to ask, why? And I thought, there was a retailer talking, a really great practical tip. And then the other session that I really enjoyed was one of the boardroom sessions, and it was all about lessons from the post office scandal. And there was such a good discussion, really got to the core of some of the issues. And I think technology is so much at the heart of life and business now that there were some great takeaways. Clearly things went wrong. There was a lot of bad behavior, but the sort of takeaways were, how do you stop that happening? How do you get the right culture, and what sort of technological knowledge do you need to make sure you've got on the board? So those were my two big ones today.
Fascinating stuff.